Making it.
Good evening, good morning, wherever you're at. This is your girl Meg. This is Freedom for All, exclusively provided by the Leon Block Independent Media. I am joined this morning with my good friend John Tell. How are you doing today, sir?
Can't complain, can't complain. You already know what it is. Thanks for having me, Meg. Y'all tuning in to Freedom for All.
Yes, and let's jump right into it. There has been several cases lately down in Mississippi that is horrible.
And Georgia.
Absolutely. And yes, Georgia, Louisiana, all of the
Louisiana.
southern states.
There's news
It,
coming out from all of them. And to be honest, we've got the case with Ronald Green in Louisiana, the case with Eric Holmes in Georgia, and then the two cases with Rashima Jahim in Mississippi, right?
yes. So these police departments have got to get it together. We are here to bring awareness to their life and legacy. So let's jump right into it. We'll start with Rashim since his happened, I believe, prior. This is Rashim Carter. He was a 25-year-old man that was working out of town from his home city in Taylorsville, Mississippi, and he felt in danger by a coworker or some men that had been following him, and the family has yet to receive any answers. And then a month later, they found his decaying body in a forest somewhere. Like, definitely not okay. He asked the police for help. The police did not give him help. They actually told him he couldn't even sit on a bench that they had in the police station. And furthermore, we looked up the location of this police station, and it's in a barn looking place.
Mm-hmm.
There's like four officers, I think, on the police force. Like, they have not been looked into, like their files, practices, protocols, procedures, de-escalation training, tactics, techniques, all of that needs to be looked into now.
Right.
So
So
we are
there's
urging
four
everyone.
officers. There's
Oh,
only
go
four
ahead.
officers on the force.
I believe there was like four or six on the police force whenever I had looked it up last.
Wow. And everyone, just so you know, you can call the Taylorsville, Mississippi Police Department here and demand whatever you personally want to demand. But me personally, I think that we need to get someone overlooking this police department for some kind of checks and balances and oversight. And we need to flood this number.
Right.
Harassment.
Agreed. We also need to demand that any body camera they have of any encounter with Rasheen that they release to the family and to the general public immediately to show integrity and accountability within their police department. There's been very little said as of right now. And so, we've learned that the South is a news desert. So the more that we can, scream this kid's name from a mountaintop, I hope to God the more publicity and results and justice he shall get, because he did not deserve to die, and he definitely asked for help, and they neglected him of that basic human right.
I do want to state that, like, us here in the north, we ain't no better, and we have our own lynchings and stuff here. The difference is
100%.
like they'll shoot us on broad on camera in front of the world to see, and still not much comes from it. Yeah, we've got our Katie, our our Kim Potters and our Derek Chauvins, but other those are still one-offs, and those were high profile cases. Micaiah Bryant, Adam Toledo, those are situations that really didn't get any reprimanding, and they were excused and justified, same as Ricardo Munoz of Lancaster, PA was justified. And
Right.
so in the north we've got our own issues as well, but I think it's different. Like in different parts of the country it's different, and we don't hear much about cases in the West, although they do happen. Let's look at Fruitvale Station, for
Well,
example.
and if you go now, correct me if I'm wrong, but like far west is like Cali, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all of the police gangs have been recorded on like public records starting in California.
Oh, let's not forget about that. The situation with that young man in San Bernardino. I did kind of forget about that for a second. Dejan,
Yes,
was it Dejan Kazee?
and his killer just got charged. I
Yes.
believe I seen that last week, so that's amazing.
Were you telling me about that? Yeah.
But
Well,
then,
we
you were
have to.
talking about the North. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I think
You
there's
were
a
talking.
little bit of a delay, but you're good. No,
Oh, I apologize, love.
you're
Um,
fine.
so also I wanted to add about the North. We had an 8-year-old little girl pass away in Philadelphia. It was a year ago. She was on my death data list. She was shot by police because police got in a shootout at a football game, and instead of shooting in the direction of the gunman, the police shot in the direction of the crowd.
Oh, you talking about
And
findability?
fanability, yes.
Well, no, that wasn't Philly. That wasn't Philly. You threw me off for a second. That was I believe it was Sharon Hill, PA. It is near Philly. It's outside of Philly, like Delaware County.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they put Philadelphia.
Oh God, it's not. It wasn't Philly. I'm pretty sure it was Sharon Hill, which is about 7 to 10 minutes outside of Philly. But yeah, we did cover that case. You weren't a part of the Leon Block at that time, but about this time last year, we were covering that case heavy, and we do have correspondents in the Delaware County area who have kept us up to date with that case. We do have to release an update for everyone, and I got to update you on that as well, because that case was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, and well, I seen the officers have been charged, 4 officers, but I'm not sure if they were able to get an indictment for sure. I seen they were up for an indictment.
Right.
But yes, moving like this, it's so sad to say moving on, but like right before Thanksgiving, you know, before you're supposed to be, think now granted we all think different definitions of Thanksgiving, but like, you're supposed to sit around the table with your family. There was a family in Georgia that lost a 19-year-old son.
Right.
Um, and this was Clayton County, Georgia. And that was on November 21st of this year, right before Thanksgiving. We are standing in solidarity and unity with the mother and the whole family, demanding justice for Eric Holmes. Eric was at work during the time that he was shot and potentially and fatally injured. It's similar to the Dante Wright situation because the officer shot him as he got in the car and left. He was not under arrest. He was not being detained. They had
Right.
actually had a civil conversation prior to this.
What?
And yeah, there's been reports made by Georgia Bureau of Investigation that her son was not aggressive. Her son had a casual conversation with the officer. So now our question is, How does a casual conversation come into an officer shooting a civilian in the face and in the back?
Yeah.
But then he crashed the car because he was shot. So it
Of course.
reminded me a lot of Dante Wright's case.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they have yet to release the body cam for his case as well, and that's in Clayton County, Georgia. If you guys want to give that number a call, we are demanding the dash cam video, as well as the police worn body camera, of the incident and of the shooting to be released to the general public for integrity and accountability within the police department. Their phone number is on our screen right now. It's 780-477-3747.
Thank you for that information, Meg. It's important that we provide the people with solutions to these situations, and at the least, at the very least, it doesn't take much to leave a message of and share your frustrations with the Clayton County Police Department and the Taylorsville Police Department as well. It's important to just share your thoughts on this with the people who deserve, who need, who are supposed to be hearing it. Share your frustration with how this heinous lynching and crimes, these people need to be reprimanded. They
Right.
work for us.
And also to add, I'm actually speaking to Rashim's mom during this podcast, but she's saying that the contact information will be the MBI, which is the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations. And so for Eric's case, it will be the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. And don't forget, everybody, you are still entitled to your color of law violation complaints through the Department of Justice.
Now
And
explain to people what is the color of law violations.
okay, so color of law is you can complain about it, have a formal complaint on a state level and a federal level. What that means is that a police officer, a public civilian or servant is what they're called, is, they take a sworn duty to serve and protect. If they abuse that power, it's called a color of law violation. So we as the public, if the police are ever in the wrong completely, we can make civilian review complaints through the police department, but we can also do color of law through the state and federal. And so state, it would go through the attorney general. For federal, it would go through the Department of Justice.
And so anyone can make these this kind of
Yes.
action. So if for myself, if I'm demanding justice for Eric Holmes and I want to see some accountability, I can call and file a color of law.
Violation for the Clayton County Police Department.
So as many people can do it as possible. Is that my understanding?
The more people that can do it, the better.
Okay. Y'all hear that, y'all?
Right. Do you hear me? Because we are tired of people dying, and not these families, they deserve justice. Could you imagine if it was your son, your daughter? These people
Think
have,
about think about Vakelvian and how it's the holidays.
right, and you're
This
alone.
she expected to have to be with her son this Christmas. And think
Right.
about that he's not here. And if
Right.
y'all watch the episode where she was on here, y'all know how she's feeling right now. So
Right.
think about the fact that your son or your daughter is still here, right? You
There's
wouldn't
no empty chairs at your table. Could you
right.
imagine?
So
And then to
how
have no, like, only questions, like about what the incident surrounding their death.
I think it's important if there's anything you can do and find it in your heart to at the very least call this number and share your frustrations. If you're a mother and you would never want this to happen to your son, yes, I am guilt tripping you. Go call that
Speak
number.
up. Speak up.
Yes.
Right. Clayton County Police Department, 780-477-3747. For Rasheen Carter, the Taylorsville, Mississippi Police Department's phone number, 601-785-6622.
All right.
This
And then everyone, please make sure that you can do whatever you can, even if it's just donating to the family. They do have GoFundMe's for funeral fees and actually, more importantly, private investigator and private autopsy done because these people are lying about what happened to these young men.
100% donate to the GoFundMe, sign their change petition.
Yes.
There's a change petition for Jaheim. I've just seen there's a change petition for Eric Holmes that was just made. Sign those petitions. The more that we can get, the more, the, whoever she's sending it to will get that, like, oh shoot, you got this, you got, this many people.
Hmm. Right.
And as much as a stir, that we can cause to question their accountability, integrity, transparency, like that's what you have to do to spot corruption
Right.
is repetitive behavior.
Yes, and keeping on their asses. It's important.
Right.
They want us to just stop and get so stressed out that we don't want anything to do with it and we just give up. We cannot. We have to keep the pedal to the metal and ride these people because they need to be ridden.
Right. They need to be accountable, just like if we was to neglect somebody, their human right, and they end up dead. Or if, you know, we shot and killed somebody, we would be in jail with no bail in the state of Pennsylvania.
Right.
And you'd be sitting there until sentencing and looking at a life sentence, if not a
Yep.
couple.
Talk about it.
So let's remain accountable, show integrity, and come together as a community to connect to these and love and support these families. Because what if it was your own?
That's
Don't be
right.
oblivious to the real that's going on right in front of you.
That's right.
Like people are so desensitized these days, like they, dare to get uncomfortable and, never can put themselves in other people's shoes. And like now is the time because, there's a lot of people in America that have turned their back and they only, watch out for themselves. We have to continue to watch out for each other and
You
love
know what?
one another.
I see so many of these so-called orgs that aren't doing anything. I see them silent on this stuff, and they're still talking about the Supreme Court and the abortion rights and Roe v. Wade, and it's like,
Right.
what the hell is wrong with y'all?
My question, and it is what it is at this point. ACLU Georgia, ACLU Mississippi, where you at? Stand up.
Talk about it.
NA or NA or
WCP,
AACP,
where the fuck y'all
Miss,
at?
Mississippi, Georgia, where you at? Stand up.
Because it's all about the money to these people, and I'll call it out. I know you're not going to because you're white, but I'm gonna call these organizations out because I don't deal with the coonery. I'm not down with the tomfoolery. Like at the end of the day, if you are not supporting our people and standing up for our people, I don't care what you gotta say. And
Right.
look,
What are you
I
here
get
for?
money talks, bullshit walks, but at the end of the day, if all you're concerned about is money and not getting holding people accountable for the heinous crimes that they are committing and have
Then
been for hundreds of
stay
years
the
towards our
fuck on the
people,
porch.
you stay where the fuck you are and you keep away from me because I don't need that kind of energy. We as
Right.
people don't need that kind of energy because at the end of the day, that's just nothing but selling us out.
Right. We
Period.
must plant seeds that bear fruit.
We
We
need
must.
justice and accountability. Period.
Right.
We don't
Exact
need
explanation point, honey.
right. And as far as the money goes, we need reparations and we need
Right.
representation, like real representation.
Right.
I see all
Civil
these.
attorneys, Georgia, Mississippi, where you at? Again, stand up.
For
I
real.
know there has to be some good ones out there that stand up for people. Lee Merritt, where you at?
Ooh, talk about it. Good one. I aired an episode of Democracy Now last night where they were speaking of crap. I can't remember what it was. Like I watched so much Democracy Now, but they had him on Democracy Now speaking about Ronald Green. But
Yes,
it was from last year. And I'm not gonna lie, like I love Lee Merritt. He he
right,
he he does a good job. However, these people are polished. These people do interviews constantly.
right.
And they're so detached from the actual cases and situations. We need more people that are hands-on to connect to these people. Like I'm not knocking the Ben Crumps and the Lee Merritts. I'm just saying that we need more people hands-on.
Well,
For real.
Eric Holmes's mom has actually reached out to Ben Crump. And
Really?
this is something I haven't got to tell you, so it's like tea at the same time. But
Yes.
he told her, she kept saying like I want to talk to him, like I don't want to talk to a paralegal, I want to talk to him. And
Right.
he informed her that he's just the face of the movement. So
Wow. So
Yeah.
he's not dealing with these cases personally like that. He gives it to people, and he's the one that you see on camera.
Uh-huh.
Uh
And
huh.
so
Just
also,
like just like with the Kim Potter case, the white man who was at the trial the whole time, the white lawyer, he was amazing, but he was representing Ben Crump. Like they were kind of like in working together because that guy is from the Twin Cities area. Obviously, Ben Crump is not, so they were
right.
working in tandem. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that Ben Crump is now the face, but we need to see more or know of more people to be able to contact. Like Lee Merritt's
Right.
another one, but I know that Lee Merritt and Ben Crump work together. They're friends.
100%.
We
And
need more.
also, like, yeah, we definitely need more. We need more civil attorneys. We need more criminal attorneys. But we
So
need more
what else did
criminal
he say to
attorneys
her?
that go after the government.
What else did that motherfucker say to her?
They still hadn't called her back.
Oh,
So I told her to stick with them, and if they didn't answer by because I spoke, like I said, I spoke to her tonight.
right.
I told her that if they didn't answer her by next week, we would call and get on air with Al Sharpton.
Facts. Let's talk about it.
So, because we can call I don't know if everybody or anybody knows this, but Al Sharpton does a live radio show from like 2 to 4 Monday through Friday,
What?
and I've been on it before.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Meganism, white girl's been on Al Sharpton.
I'm done. Yeah, let's do this.
But yeah, so that's the plan. If they don't hear her by,
Nah,
I'd say
nope, nope,
Tuesday.
ain't no, nope, ain't no. If we don't, we're getting on there. Period, regardless of whether we hear from him or not. That's my
Yeah,
decision.
let's do it. I'll get the number. Well, I mean, all my notebooks. I have to find his number, of
Because
course.
honestly, and I'm not trying to be negative, but realistically, if like it's gonna
If we
take them a
all
while,
call, they'll
it'd be
hear
a
us.
different story, right? Right,
And if we call on one day, especially, like, and they keep hearing the same thing and the same thing, they're gonna be like, "Who is this Eric Holmes? Who is this Rasheen Carter?
right. I'm
Who is
surprised
this
they
Jaheem
haven't heard
Jamil?"
anything yet. Like,
I'm surprised, but it's a media desert. You taught me what that was, and like, especially in the South,
yeah, you notice like the mainstream is not
nothing.
talking
They ain't touching it.
at all. Silent,
Right?
silent. It's crazy.
Yep. Very silent. The Today Show, ABC. Where are you at? Helping this family, the ones with the money.
Facts.
Like we here though. You got us all chopped because broke, indifferent, sad, angry, mad, wanting to quit, wanting to give up. You hear a mother cry, and it's a different feeling,
Right. Talk about it. Talk about it.
and
That's
that's what keeps us.
that should have me balling.
Nah,
Like,
real shit, bro. That's a different feeling when you hear a mother desperately cry and seek help and not be able to get it and live in America.
for real.
Like we said, what if this was your son or daughter that's not sitting at the, dinner table this holiday season? Reach out, make the phone call for them, for your kids, for the
Facts.
people that you love.
Facts.
But we just want to jump on and talk about this, specifically real quick. Keep it short and sweet. I hope you guys were able to arm yourself with knowledge, learn something new. Educate is the only way that we can learn to do better
That's
and
right.
to get off the porch, get uncomfortable, and shake the cages a little bit. We're not saying all cops are bad, all police departments are bad. We're saying there's 1 to 2 bad apples that make the whole patch bad. You know how
Oh
when
no,
fruit go moldy?
no, honey. I'm saying that the whole profession is bad. It was founded on slave catching mentality. I'm good. I don't want police at all. However, I do understand that we still have them and we have to deal with them for the foreseeable future. So let's just hold them accountable.
Right, exactly. Accountability, transparency, integrity.
That's right.
It should be morality as well.
Talk about it.
But we could not do what we do without your donations and support. Don't forget to like this stream so you can keep up to date on all the other Freedom for All episodes. And if you'd like to donate to us, our payment options are at the bottom of the screen.
Right.
This is your girl Meg. I got my guy John Tell.
That's right.
And this is Freedom for All, y'all. Have a good evening. Good morning.
Be blessed, everyone.